What's up, Weld Nation? In today's video, we are going to show how you can start a business 5 different ways with zero money. My name is Carmen.
And I'm Darius. And the caveat to this is actually what we did when we didn't have any money just a few years ago.
Yeah, so we have a nice little story to share with you folks. But again, by the end of this video, you will be able to start 1 or 5 businesses if you want to with zero money. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Long story short, once upon a time, there was a little Carmen and a little Darius, and Darius was laid off. Do you want to tell that story?
Yeah. So
how this kicked everything into gear?
Right. So living in Houston, I was an industrial engineer, and at that point in time, the company that I was working for was purchased by a young man and moved to Kentucky. I wasn't going to Kentucky, so I was without a job.
Yeah, and I think what we could have done was see this coming. Mm-hmm. And I say this because many people get laid off and they're like, oh, I had no idea. I thought I was irreplaceable and all of that. And no, everybody can be replaced. And I think with Darius's position, at least what you were sharing with me, it seemed like you were always telling the company what cuts need to be made. And they got to the point where they made all the cuts and they go, okay, the person who was calling the shots on what cuts need to be made, we don't need you either because you gave us all the answers, right? So we fell in that situation, and very quickly we were like, what are we going to do? And it just got to the point where we said, okay, we can no longer be dependent on corporate America to fund our lifestyle because we saw what happened. Mm-hmm. And with that, we just had this thirst for knowledge to say, okay, how can we do better and be better next time? Which started our interest in real estate, because at the time I was working in commercial construction, and we just both already had a passion for it. And we said, hey, let's just get involved in it. So what we decided to do was go to community events. Here's point number 1 is real estate, how we got involved in real estate without having to fund any deals. We started going to community events and networking events and meeting the players in the game in the city that we were at the time, which was Phoenix, Arizona. And very quickly, once you go to a few different events, you'll be able to see who's actually wheeling and dealing and who is there to get education. Mm-hmm. So what we decided to do was the individuals who were actually flipping, we tried to provide as much value to them as possible. So we took them out to coffee. We took them out to lunch. Why? Because we wanted to feed them. Who doesn't want to get fed? And also we didn't have a lot of money, so we weren't doing steak dinners.
Now, the value wasn't us taking them out to lunch. The value was us getting to know them and know where they have issues, when there's opportunities within their process. Because remember, I'm an engineer, and I think a little differently than
you do
most people. So what we were able to do is look at their process and see exactly how can we add value to their process based on what we know. Because we didn't know anything about real estate, but when it comes to a business, you don't have to know everything about everything. You just need to have a niche.
Exactly.
So what we decided to do is we started seeing there was patterns. There were patterns with what the investors that were actually investing, what they were saying, and what the need was. Mm-hmm. And we found out the need was they have a lot of deals, because this was back 2015
mm-hmm.
2015 in Phoenix, Arizona, where there were still a lot of houses on the market that could be purchased and bought and flipped for a huge profit, but there wasn't enough funds to go to the investors to actually take down those properties. Mm-hmm. So that's where we came in, and we were like, okay, you have all these properties and you need funds to do these deals, take down these deals and flip them. We can help you with that part in finding private lenders to invest with us, and then we'll invest with you in your properties.
Now, the thing that I want to make sure that we hone on here is that what we did was we decided to provide value to individuals. We said, how can we help these people for free? Because we were really trying to figure out how to get involved. And the reason why I want to hone in on this is because many times we are looking to the individuals that we want to learn from, and we're going, hey, can I pick your brain? Can I learn from you? Can I do this? But how are you providing value to those individuals? So that's why we flipped the script, and that's why other people were willing to work with us because they were sick of getting their brain picked and not having a valuable mutual exchange. So for us, we said, okay, with the knowledge that I have in commercial construction, with the knowledge that Darius has with engineering, how can we bring the meeting of the minds together and create a superhuman to help people within this industry? So that's why I want you all to start honing in on this. And that's what I feel is the difference between you being able to crack the code with people that you're looking to work with versus not. So always try to figure out how you can create solutions and provide value to people. So with that being said, when we recognized that capital was the need, we then said, hey, we know a few people in our personal sphere of influence who have money that's just sitting. Maybe it's in a 401k or maybe it's in a savings account. But we know that these individuals would probably much rather earn 10% than just let their money sit and not make any money.
Not make as much.
Or as much. So the point was we called up Jimmy. Said, hey, Jimmy, we know you got some money in your 401k. Do you want to make 10%? What are the penalties? What are the fees? How does it make sense for you to do this deal? Jimmy figured out all that information, and then it made sense for him. So he got the money to fund property A. Then we call Susie. Hey, Susie, we know that you have some money. Do you want to maybe invest in this opportunity? It makes sense. We did all the due diligence to make sure that it was a sound investment and that there was a guaranteed payback. And Susie funded the deal. So that's how we started getting involved in real estate, was connecting people together. And then we collected a fee because of the connections that we had.
Right.
And that was all for free. Right.
Meaning no money out of our pocket. But in this process, what we started to realize, or we started to connect, is we started to work with people that had money, that had more money than they know what to do with it. So we were like, man, we would like to have that problem, because here we come along and we find a way for you to invest your money and make money, and you didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
So one of our investors, that private money lenders, what he did is he used money from his whole life insurance policy, which set off a light bulb.
And if you want to learn more about that, click on the link below and join the Wealth Nation.
Now, with him using his whole life insurance policy, we were like, okay, this is cool. Let's go ahead and, get the paperwork started so we can get the funds, and then we'll ask you questions later before you change your mind.
True.
Now, after everything cleared, we started asking questions. We were like, okay, how were you able to do this? Because what intrigued us...
I thought you had to die to use life insurance.
What intrigued us the most is how this person was compared to our other investors. Our other investors would call us often about what's going on with the deal.
Where's the money? Where's the money? Where's the money?
Well, they have to... build it first before we can get you the money, and they have to sell it. There's a lot of things that have to happen. Well, this individual, what he did is he gave us the money and said that we had to keep this money for 5 years. And if we paid him back early, there would be a penalty for paying him back early. That is totally different from what our other investors were doing. So we wanted more investors like him. And once we started to dive a little deeper into it, we started to understand that, man, these investors don't need us. The only thing they need to do is get whole life insurance policies and start funding their own deals. And they don't need us. They don't have to worry about hard money loans. They don't have to worry about private money lenders and them being able to keep the money for only a certain period of time. So that became our journey of educating other investors on how they can use whole life insurance and replace us as the investor.
Which I would say, if I may interject, was the segue into the business that we've created now, which is Wealth Nation. So the second point that I want to dive into is YouTube. Because what we recognized was we needed to get this information out. We needed to share this with individuals, because as we were flipping deals, we were like, more people need to do this. Why doesn't everybody do this? It makes so much sense. And YouTube came along. Now, we started YouTube with a business already in the background, and I want to make that distinction. So when you start a YouTube channel, you'll see that people start YouTube channels because they just want a day in the life, follow me around and watch me make videos. Now, this is totally fine, but you also have to recognize that it's going to take time for you to build that ad revenue that YouTube is going to provide to you. And that ad revenue really isn't predictable. So what we recognize with YouTube is we already had a business. We were coming with a business to be be able to use YouTube as our marketing platform, so to speak. So we already knew that as long as we plugged into YouTube and understood the algorithm and how it works, we are able to create more clientele. We're able to prospect online via YouTube. So as long as we continue to provide what? Value, amazing value, we recognize that there's going to be people that will raise their hand and go, hey, that makes sense, and I would like to work with you. So that's how our YouTube journey started. What is beautiful about YouTube, and this is the free 99 nugget, is that your cell phone camera is so powerful these days, and you can just start shooting YouTube videos using your camera. And I'm saying that because that's what we did.
Yeah, we aren't YouTube experts at all. At least we weren't at that time. And we got our first 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours just with our cell phone. We didn't start making any money. We didn't put any money into our YouTube business until we started making money.
Yeah, and the thing that Darius was just saying, the 1,000 hours and 4,000 watch hours at the time of making this video, that's what's required in order
1,000 subscribers
I'm
and 4,000 watch hours.
Thank you. That's what's needed in order for YouTube to start paying you. You have to get to a certain qualification level. So we put our head down, created as many videos as we possibly could, and asked everyone that came in front of us, literally, to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd be at the gas station like, hey, you got YouTube up? Subscribe to our channel.
If you knock on our door, oh, we like those t-shirts. Oh, you know we got a YouTube channel.
Still to this day, we ask everyone to subscribe to our YouTube channel. By the way, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and do so and hit the like button. But that's point number 2. You can start a YouTube channel for free. But the point is you have to understand the direction that you are trying to take YouTube. So are you starting YouTube without a business? If that's you, then absolutely start thinking about ways that you can monetize. If I have value to share, what can I provide my audience in order to continue to educate them? Or if you have a business that's already established, how can I create meaningful videos that is going to generate a following where people are going to want to continue to get information from me?
Right. Now, the third thing is create a membership community. The reason why we created a membership community is because on our journey of understanding whole life insurance, we got an opportunity to go to different meetings that had people that were focused on the same thing, which is using their whole life insurance. And we took a look in this room and we were the youngest people there. Everybody else were well established on the other side of the cash flow quadrant, meaning that they were not employed, they were not self-employed, they were business owners and investors.
Yes.
These were people that were doctors that had their own practices. These were bank owners, not bank managers, bank owners. They were inventors. They were all kind of different, well-seasoned people that had money, and there was a network of people that we wanted to create for ourselves. Yep. So in this journey of understanding whole life insurance, we wanted to make sure that we're also surrounded by other people that are focused on the same thing, because we realize in that community of people, they're different. They're different because they understand creative investing. They understand finances a little differently, and the businesses that they create around it is also a little different than what you would generally see.
And I think it's important to note this too, because you already are probably immersed in other communities. And the reason being is because you want to surround yourself with like-minded people. So we recognize as we continue to grow our business, we wanted to continue to surround ourselves with our clients, with our students, so that we can all continue to learn together and we can pour more value into our clients. So with that being said, we said, how can we create a place where we can all meet together digitally and meet and discuss and challenge each other to think differently? And that can be done for free, ladies and gentlemen, all online. You can start everything through using Google assets. You can use Google video chats. You can use Google Docs, Google spreadsheets. You can do all of these things to be able to create presentable information. And then all you have to do is start using social media to reach out to people to say, hey, how are we going to meet up? How are we going to share? How are we going to collectively come together and challenge each other to do more? And it doesn't have to be about money. It can be whatever subject you want to learn, right? Think of all the Star Wars groups that's out there.
Literally.
This is just a movie. You know, people who are sharing commonalities about their passion for a specific movie. There are people who come together for gardening, for parenting, for technology, for cars, whatever it is. Figure out how you can come together and build together.
Right. Just like Carmen said, it's very important that we build together. And as we were building together in our community that we started for free, we realized that everybody that comes in the community isn't on the same level.
Yes.
So that's when online courses came into play, so that we can make sure that we have prerequisites and make sure that people have a baseline of understanding, so that when we do have conversations, we don't have to go back every single time to make sure everybody comes forward. So that's when the online courses came into play to add to our online community.
And again, these are all things that we started with zero to very little money. And you can do all of these things for free. We're just sharing you the trajectory of which our business has grown because of what our audience is asking for us. And we've challenged ourselves to start with little to no money with these things, because it's important for us to be able to share this information with our clients and with our students, because a lot of times people are just starting from scratch. And the main thing that we also know is we don't want our clients to have to go into debt to get started. Sometimes that's not always about the progress that we're trying to make in our business. With everything that we have online these days, there's so many things that you can do for free that it doesn't make sense for you to go out and go get a bank loan, how we used to do, for 20 grand. Now all of a sudden you're on the hook and you have to figure out how to start paying these loans back. Start for free, get traction, and then start profiting without having to use any sort of financing.
Right. The best thing that happened to us a couple years ago was the fact that we didn't have any money, but we needed to move into a different direction.
We need to eat.
We needed to eat.
And the direction was food.
And in the absence of money, what we had to do is we had creativity.
Yes.
And that is probably the best advice that I can give anybody, is that you have to be creative. It doesn't take money to make money. It takes creativity to make money. And with creativity, you can create as much money as you need. Let's think about recording artists. These guys are very creative, and through their music, they create funds. They create money. Let's think about artists that painters.
Yeah.
They create a canvas of a beautiful art, and they sell that. That's something that came out of their mind and through their fingers. Everything that we do is a result of the actions that we take. Money is a byproduct of our creativity and the actions that we take in order to get those funds.
Yeah.
So just think about that as you move forward, and understand, or as you try to think about, what in the world can I do to make money if I don't have any?
Yeah, exactly. Now, the last point that, or before we go to the last point, with the online courses, I want to touch on that a little bit more, because as we recognize, the world of education is changing, and you'll see, I'm sure many people these days have bought a course that they purchased from a creator or an influencer or whatever from just an online product. So how can you start to create online products based off of the knowledge that you have? It's all about capitalizing on the knowledge that you have, because there's more and more people that need that information, and it's just a matter of you stepping into your genius zone and going, hey, I have something of value that needs to be shared, and then understanding the nuances of how to get yourself out there in the world of social media.
Everybody has it, just not everybody's willing to do the work to share it.
Very good point. Now, the next point I want to share with you is something that just grew organically, and that is the swag that you see Darius and I wear. We created these shirts because we thought they were powerful meanings that we just wanted to wear as we recorded YouTube videos. But more and more people started asking us, how do we buy these shirts? Can you send them to us? And we said, oh, okay, well, let's start a shirt company. And so all we did was start sourcing individuals to print the shirts and ship them on our behalf. So drop shipping is the point that I want to make, is that you don't have to have a t-shirt company inside your home. You can find individuals who print the shirts and ship the products on your behalf to your customers. And that was the biggest thing for us, that we were able to start with no money, because all we did was just start researching individuals who would do this on our behalf. And then we started to figure out how can we get these shirts out to our customers just based off of people who are asking for them. And that's what started the swag that we've created within the Wealth Nation channel.
Right. And the theme that I hope that you're noticing is that everything happened for us organically. Everything that we did, it happened organically. It started with us taking action because I got laid off. And we started, we wanted to get involved with real estate. That is the first domino that fell that created these other streams of income, because it came out of necessity. It came out of the fact that we position ourselves so that we can take advantage of opportunities that presents itself. Instead of saying that we have to go do X, Y, Z and give somebody else our time, we had the time to say, okay, if I'm understanding whole life insurance, then I'm going to help other people understand it too, because I'm not necessary in this investing, being this middleman. It'd be better, we can help more people if we educate people on how to control their own funds, which is how everything started.
And the other thing too that I don't know if we've necessarily shared is all of these points. We said YouTube, our insurance business, online courses, membership, and dropshipping. All of this came from ideas that we had in our head that we probably would have undervalued if we didn't have somebody else going, I need that. I need that. I need that. So the reason why I'm saying this is because how many times do you speak to individuals, or do people call you to say, hey, come help me do this. Come help me do that. I know that you're really good at that and I need your help. So if there is one person that is valuing something that you have, that means there's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 millions of people who are going to value what you have. So never underestimate that, because everything that we just listed here was because one other person asked for something from us. We had enough people that said, hey, I want to invest with you in real estate. We had enough people that said, hey, how do I do this whole life insurance thing? So we said, let's go get licensed and tell more people about it. And then we had people that said, hey, where are more people that are doing this? How do I talk to more people who are doing the same thing that you're doing? Hey, let's bring them all together, because we know a few people. Then was like, hey, how can I continue to educate myself, or how can I know as much as you guys know? Online courses. Then it was, hey, where do I get your t-shirts from? You see where I'm going? So it doesn't always take you having to go back to school or having to study all these things and drop a ton of money into whatever it is that you think you need to research. It just takes a moment for you to take a moment and look inward and figure out, what do people need from me on my day-to-day, and how can I capitalize that? Because I can guarantee the majority of you watching this video right now, you're getting paid to do something. Right? So how can you flip it and control how you are getting paid to do the same thing that you're doing?
Right, because everybody has a different journey that they're on, and based on the experiences that we've had up until this point, this is where it's led us. Since you had different experiences, it's going to lead you to a different place that may not necessarily be YouTube or online courses, but what you have to do is you have to be able to be aware of what people are asking around you, because that is a telltale sign of what people are willing to pay for.
Absolutely. All right, folks. Now, we hope that this information was valuable. And if you want to learn how to use whole life insurance to finance your lifestyle, then definitely check out our next video so you can continue to capitalize on your opportunities.
Remember to own your own lifestyle,
or someone else will.